Fresh Off the Corner has been the rarest series in the world. And one thing I'll say is the value that I have learned by being at a crossroad, by being at an intersection whereby which I'm seeing so many humans. The one thing that I've learned, which I'm going to take on for the rest of my life with the deepest level of conviction, is that the kids with 100% never showed me negative energy and only showed me positive energy. The one thing that I'm going to take with the deepest conviction from this series and from this experience is that out of all of the instances of children who have passed by me, 100% absolutely none of them have ever projected negative energy, resentful energy, and in fact 100% of them have projected and reflected inspired awe, awesomeness, enthusiasm, wonder, curiosity, positivity, innate and intrinsic to their instinct. It's the adults who have learned to lie. It is the adults who have learned to create narratives within themselves to protect themselves from the facts and the reality, the only reality, the result that they are, which is their mediocrity. When an individual sees something that reflects everything that they're not, they do their best, as they have been, to cover their eyes and to cover their perception and to cover their soul from the actuality and making contact with that reality. And this is why people live in a mask, in a barrage, in a castle of lies. Sober, fit, enlightened, and rich. You don't have to tell the kids what's wavy. You don't have to tell the kids what's inspiring. They look at me naturally from, I'm talking infants who can't even communicate with the English language, whose Broca's area within their brain hasn't even developed enough neurons and connections to actually utter an intentional word. No. To toddlers, to teenagers. But there's a certain age where the human begins to learn to lie to itself. There's a certain age where some humans, their honesty gets snuffed out of their soul and they become conformed. They become conformed to the mediocrity. They become conformed to the lies. They become conformed to the adults around them who, instead of insisting on actuality, rather fabricate reality and live a lie. Live to avoid, live to dismiss all of their inadequacies, all of their ineptitudes, all of their incompetences. Sober, fit, enlightened, and rich, the children smile. The children walk with their parents and break their necks. They walk in this way, they like this. In the strollers, some of the kids come and do the pull-ups. 100%. As a statistician, that's a significant finding. That's actual research. I don't know if you realize, like, I have a whole degree from Hunter College, psychology and sociology. And for both of those degrees, I had to take research methods twice and statistics, not just elementary statistics, but applied statistics. So just understanding data analysis, frequency, occurrence, social research, individual research, psychological, social evaluations, right? And 100% of the children have shown me positive energy, and 100% of them have never projected resentment, negativity, or any of those negative emotions. They've never negated me. They've embraced me and been open to me. Receptive instead of negative. So that's a lesson for life. Why? Because it teaches us that what we are and what we do is the fucking truth. And as humans walk around in their insecurities, because as I said, when you are that thing that reflects what an individual is not doing, the individual has nothing to hide from that reality. A motherfucker with a gut? Come on, cuz, what's that? Motherfucker out of tune, motherfuckers drinking, smoking, with the gut? What's that? Then they want to walk around like this. Everybody got these artificial postures. What's with the artificial posture? It ain't natural, right? A lot of people not living natural. They living in artificial a lot. You see what I'm saying? So why your world is yours. It is what it is. 100%, and I mean 100% of the children have never shown me a negative emotion. And that's a significant statistical finding because in any case, there's a general principle in statistics that understands implicitly that there are no absolutes. So maybe there is some kid out there, 99.99%, that 0.01%, that child, that occurrence that showed me negative. But even so, I doubt that. I highly doubt that. And we must understand that even though there are generic rules and principles, every so often there is an unaccounted for, inexplicable, rare and unique occurrence within the batch. It is what it is. And this study, this finding, this comprehension is something that we will live with forever. Whatever you why your world is yours. So many individuals have tried to make me feel uncomfortable because they felt uncomfortable. I'm naturally just being. But then when you get into sympathetic resonance, mirror neuron to mirror neuron, central nervous system to central nervous system, you'll feel when an individual, and if you're open and you're clear and you're sober and your antennae are actually fresh and on par. Most of you smoke so much and drink so much you don't realize that your cerebral, your gray matter, your brain cells are being fried. So your antennas and your receptivity is dull. So if you could have LTE or 4G or 5G receptivity and download speeds, bandwidth, you're degrading yourself to 1 bar with barely any service. Same world with an abundant of ability to make contact, you're unable to do so. Why? Because your brain is fried. So as I was saying, when you're this enlightened, when you're this open, when your channels are open, when you're this sober, when you have been this sober, when you work out and you have this natural endocrine flowing through your system, these natural proteins and these molecules flowing through your system, enhancing you from the inside out, creating more structure and integrity within your brain and your synapses, you can perceive at an elevated level. And you won't be able to perceive at that level until you actually, one, have been sober enough, long enough, and actually work out enough to create new and fresh brain connections. Anyway, my point with this is this. I can feel another person's emotions, and that's what we naturally can do because that's what we do to survive in the wild. To be able to perceive the emotional states, whether an individual's animosity is there, when an individual's being kind. With deceptive the smile might be, the energy never lies. The energy will never lie. The frequency will never lie. And I will tell you, many adults have projected some really weird shit on me because they felt uncomfortable. There are 4 mechanisms of ego defense, subconscious Freudian. There's projection, there's denial, there's displacement, and there's sublimation. There's a whole bunch. But first, they deny. In denial. Then they project. And they also displace. It's like the individual who goes to work and gets fucking yelled at by their boss all day and is too pussy to actually deal with it then and there. That energy comes home, and now this guy is fucking yelling at his wife and yelling at his kids and doing all this extra shit. It has to go somewhere. It's displacement. And they think that they could displace their anxieties and their neuroses based on what? The thing that they're perceiving within themselves. The only people who have an issue with prosperity are those who are suffering from their own poverty. Whatever you are, your world is yours. So much lesson, so much knowledge, so much growth. I want y'all to know one thing. The children have never given me a negative emotion in my fucking life. 100%. What does that mean? I want you to ask yourself, what does that mean? For what I am, out of all of the adults who are obvious renditions of not doing enough, obvious renditions of doing the wrong shit, obvious renditions of going against the grain, obvious renditions of living lies, and then building castles of lies. 100% of the freshest souls who have entered this dimension have never given me a negative emotion, and at the same time, 100% of those fresh souls who have just entered this dimension and have not been conditioned, repressed, or made tame and docile to the conformity of the mass mediocrity. 100% of these new and fresh souls who came in with intrinsic Akashic knowledge have given me positive feedback. Zero negative feedback, absolutely, and 100% positive feedback, absolutely, from 100% of the sample population that is 10 years and younger, from ages 2 to age 10. Word is born. So what does that mean? I want y'all not to just do things to do things. I want you to actually learn to think, to question, to interrogate, to investigate, to inquire, to be inquisitive, to ponder, to wonder, and to actually come to conclusions in this life and higher levels of integrated awareness. It's not simply about, oh, let's do some pull-ups, let's do some push-ups, be in shape. You dig? Consider the vibrations raised. Evolution, only solution, self-mastery, only success. This has been one of the rarest epochs in human history. And this is only going to fuel the growth even more. I love y'all. Collect all of these videos and watch all of the videos from this video and back. And comprehend what I have been being for you, showing you what to be and how to be, and what I've become for you. And now it's time for you to become for yourself and for other people. This life is to be lived, not to be denied, not to be lived as a lie, but to be embraced as the truth. So personify what? The teaching. Personify what? The truth. Once you become the truth, you are free. Consider the vibrations raised.